Okay, so I've been down some YouTube wormholes the last couple of nights, just basically just to cure boredom and whatnot. And yeah, they're pretty interesting. So one of them that's been coming up pretty regularly is some UFO videos. Okay, um, I'm not 100% on if they're real or not. I would have no idea until I actually see one in person and see aliens in person. I'm not really going to be 100% on whether they exist or whether they're real, whether aliens exist and whatnot. Um, but one which was pretty interesting to me was there was this school in Zimbabwe. This was like years ago, and they got visited by a UFO supposedly, and it came down, and the aliens popped in, and they popped out, and they spoke to the children. And years later, they all say they interviewed these people recently, and they're adults now, and they all say the same thing, again, as what they said when they were kids. They said that the aliens said that humans should beware of the technology that we're producing. Okay, this is my dog, by the way. So, um, why would they be saying this? Um, One reason is possibly because, I mean, this is if they are real. I mean, UFO sightings date back to before us having technology, so, I mean, it's all kind of plausible, I guess. Um, but one of the reasons that I was thinking is, at first, was maybe technology is getting to us and it's getting ahead of us, and it's just our own psyche imagining these UFOs and these aliens, saying to beware of how fast technology is actually headed. But as I said previously, um, these sightings were happening the before technology was so advanced, so that kind of debunks that. Um, so the other thing that I was thinking is possibly due to a moral and ethics standard. Um, So maybe it's like, well, technology really shouldn't be as advanced as it is while we don't have morals and ethics so strongly on our own planet and in our own society, um, which makes complete sense. When you think about it, I mean, we have the internet, we have Facebook, and there's a lot of fake bots going around, and some of them troll, and some of them just leave like all these crazy comments. It's becoming very fake very fast. Um, Another aspect is hackers and whatnot. There's not enough morals um, in society where hackers are being stopped. There's people going around. There's not only fake accounts, but there's people leaving the fake accounts. These accounts stay open, and they get taken over by Facebook and start being used. Um, Other probably platforms as well. Probably not just Facebook. Sorry, Mark. But it just happens a lot on Facebook. So sorry, not sorry, Mark. um, but I mean, I've been told once when one of my accounts I couldn't get back into, that supposedly, it was throwing spam and stuff. So it had obviously been hacked, and then a whole lot of history from, you know, when I opened the account had been deleted, and then it was almost started again as like a fresh account. So I mean, that's bizarre in itself, right? And it's not only happened to me; it's happened to a lot of people, a lot. Um, but I'm talking like email hacking and stuff like that. Um, and so it's not very like secure. Um, there's a lot of people can just set up like not only multiple accounts, but there's not that much, freedom of speech. There's not that much. Um, yeah, it's very on it's very much on whoever created the program on what they want us to act like and be like on there. I mean, you can be on, say, like Instagram and like Facebook and stuff, and scroll through for like a good minute before you come across, in some cases, before you come across, like, you know, your friends' are real accounts and stuff, because there's a whole lot of adverts and stuff that pop up. But yeah, again, it's more like, you know, the email hacking and stuff like that. I've got an old email which I don't even use because it's just smothered in spam, and every time I put something important on there, it just basically gets attacked by spam, and the accounts just basically, you know, it always gets hacked. So I rarely even use that email account. So it's not really that secure as such. It's not really that safe. I mean, this is just an example of how moral. Maybe if they're saying that, maybe that's what their approach is, right? Um, that it's not as secure, so therefore we're endangering our own society and our own species by doing this. When you think about it, we've got like electric vehicles coming out now, and a lot of them are running by like GPS and computers and stuff. They're secure so far, but who's not to say in the future that maybe, I mean, it might be a little bit of paranoia, but I mean, it's still a possibility if you're looking at the way that things are going with technology. But who's to say that they might not get hacked into somehow, and then all of a sudden you don't have control over your car. Someone might just go through the computer, change the registration of it into their name or something, and the next thing you've got $100,000 car which you no longer own anymore, and they've just changed all the maps and everything. That's just a massive hypothetical, right? It's probably ridiculous, but sometimes these ridiculous things have happened in the past. There's like it's really kind of bizarre. When you look at, say, hypothetically, you're looking at, and once again, a lot of this is hypothetical, so take it with a grain of salt still. But if that's what the warning is, this is probably why, is what I'm saying. So, say there's a country, let's just say, for example, like China or Russia or someone, and they want to see what people from that country, what their true thoughts are on their country. So, of an opposing country, to see whether they should actually, you know, make friends with them or not. Maybe they were wrong about, you know, their thoughts about them and whatnot. And then all of a sudden you get bots popping up, AI maybe popping up and just throwing out random sort of like insults and random things, and then they get the wrong idea about what's going on in the country, and then they think, okay, well, that country's against us, let's start a war. To kind of explain a little bit further, when all this Russia-Ukraine stuff was going on, Australia was going on about how India is one of our allies and whatnot. You go on to a live stream of Indian channel on YouTube talking about, hey, look what's going on in Ukraine with Russia and stuff, and all the Indian citizens that were on the lives are going, we stand with Russia, and we're getting told opposite, that they're on our side in Ukraine, and it's like a big clash of, you know, boom, 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 and there could be not only misinformation, but it could cause extra conflict for no reason. So that's basically the premise of what I'm trying to get at. In my opinion, there shouldn't be sides at all. There shouldn't be war, regardless. We should all be getting along, and yeah, I mean, because the whole point of spending millions of dollars, billions of dollars actually, on weapons to blow each other up, is completely ridiculous. Um, and then just, you know, people turn around and they go, well, we're just going to follow the propaganda and just hate that country and hate that race, and it turns into a whole, you know, storm of bullshit, which is really not needed. Um, so, I mean, it's just one of those things that gets blown out of proportion, but it can have massive ramifications on not only the way that people socialize with each other, but life in general. I mean, it can cause like massive wars, massive hatred, massive disputes. Um, it can make people really uncomfortable, and you know, cause a lot of mental issues because they might live in a place where, you know, they're a minority, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, bam, and people poking your fingers saying that's that person, that's from that country's doing this and that. That's what the media says, that's what, you know, is all over the internet and whatnot, but those people aren't involved. They probably escaped to get away from it. um, wow, okay. So yeah, that they probably escaped to get away from that kind of thing. um, so it just turns into a whole lot of misjudgments, misinterpretations, and causes a whole lot of conflict, um, extra conflict that's not needed at all. So yeah, if there is aliens, and that's generally the message of what they're saying, um, if there is, that is supposedly what they're saying. Like, beware of technology. Technology is bad. Technology can destroy you. That's probably the aspect of what they're getting at. Um, it's kind of silly to think that a civilization that has technology that can actually fly to us is saying, "Hey, don't build your own technology." Like, especially if they're, you know, shutting down nuclear sites, and if you know, they're probably against war. Um, if they really wanted war, they would have come down and blasted us up already. You know what I mean? Um, why would you wait until someone's like got more technology when you can take them over easier before they've even gathered that technology together? So why would you actually fly into another, you know, another world and be like, hey, don't build technology, we have technology? Like, it's kind of bizarre. It's very contradictory. But maybe it's just because they've noticed that we're using the technology wrong. This is if they're real, and supposedly that is what they're saying. So that's my assumption of why they would be saying that kind of stuff. Cool. Hope I got that point across, and I hope you enjoyed my little wormhole speech. Sorry. I'm recovering from COVID, hence the cough. So yeah, what I'm going to, I don't know, next wormhole end I'm going down, I'll gather some more thoughts, and I'll do another blabber vid on my YouTube wormholes and post it on YouTube. So I hope you enjoy. Thanks.